the year when I was 19, I had a car accident. The birthday cake I bought for Chen Jianyang turned into a mess. That year Chen Jianyang was 20. He held my bloody body and refused to let go. By the time I arrived at the hospital, I had become a ghost that could only follow behind Chen Jianyang. The heart monitor was silent. I was floating in the air and the body on the bed was mine. It seemed I was dead. Chen Jianyang was the only one beside me. He held my hand, his head resting on the white sheet, crying until he was out of breath. I reached out to touch him, but my hand passed through him. It was then I realized that I was a ghost. My parents rushed in, barely able to stand while supporting each other. I wanted to go back into my body. My death will make my parents very sad. But I couldn't go back. The funeral was not very big. Chen Jianyang was also there. The girl in the picture was still smiling, but I couldn't smile anymore. My parents only have one daughter. What are they going to do? Chen Jianyang's birthday became my death anniversary. He will feel guilty. What's he going to do? What can I do? I'm a ghost and ghosts do not cry. I don't have the opportunity to vent my emotions. My death was so sudden that my parents blamed Chen Jianyang. My mother hit him with her fists, but he didn't move like a statue. My mother said, "It's all you. If Yuan Yuan didn't go to buy a birthday cake for you, she wouldn't have encountered these things. It's your fault." My mom, it's not his fault. I floated between my mother and Chen Jianyang, trying to block these knife-like words with my body. But those words passed through me and stabbed Chen Jianyang one by one. Just a few months ago, my mother still held Chen Jianyang's hand and said, "Take good care of Yuan Yuan." Just a few months ago, Chen Jianyang was still discussing with me what gift should we get for my mom. Just a few months ago, I and Chen Jianyang were the childhood sweethearts that everyone envied. Now he was saying sorry to my mom. Chen Jianyang, who used to come to my house for meals and drinks without notice, dared not set his foot in our house anymore. I, Feng Yuan, who was 19 then, have become a scar for Chen Jianyang. The first year after my death, when Chen Jianyang was 21, he was diagnosed with depression. He dropped out of school. He stayed in his room day and night. I watched him paint one picture after another. Brushes and paints were scattered all over the floor, pill bottles mixed in them, covered by bright colors. He was painting the 6-year-old Feng Yuan with a little hair clip hugging a cloth doll. Painted 7-year-old Feng Yuan carrying a school bag on her first day of elementary school. Painted 8-year-old Feng Yuan riding a bicycle and crying because she couldn't learn it. Painted 9-year-old Feng Yuan with the lights on, drawing. Painted 10-year-old Feng Yuan sitting in front of a piano, looking confused as it was her first encounter. Painted 11-year-old Feng Yuan holding a birthday cake, wearing a hat that could only be worn by the birthday star. Painted 12-year-old Feng Yuan sat at the windowsill, sticking out her tongue at Chen Jianyang's room. Painted 13-year-old Feng Yuan propping up her face, daydreaming. Painted 14-year-old Feng Yuan doing homework at Chen Jianyang's house, feeling drowsy. Painted 15-year-old Feng Yuan holding a camera, taking pictures of Chen Jianyang. Painted 16-year-old Feng Yuan staying up late at night, catching up on summer homework. Painted 17-year-old Feng Yuan going to the zoo with Chen Jianyang, feeding the giraffes with leaves. Painted 18-year-old Feng Yuan wearing a delicate dress, with beautiful makeup. It was her coming-of-age ceremony. Painted 19-year-old Feng Yuan went on a trip to Sea City with Chen Jianyang after the college entrance examination, picking up seashells on the beach. Chen Jianyang said that his brush was born to paint for me, but my little painter couldn't paint anymore. He couldn't paint Feng Yuan, who was 20 years old. Countless paintings were piled in the corner. Chen Jianyang stared at the blank paper, but couldn't make a stroke. Finally, there were some colors on the canvas. I leaned in, wanting to see what it was. It was gray. It was Chen Jianyang's tears. I said, "Don't cry, Chen Jianyang." But Chen Jianyang couldn't hear me. I wanted to help him pick up the brushes scattered on the ground, but I couldn't grab one, so I gave up helplessly. I floated in front of Chen Jianyang again, pulling faces as usual, trying to make him happy. But his eyes were hollow, and the sadness left a hole in my heart as well. I floated by his side every day, watching his mechanical repetition of life, but an accident still happened. Chen Jianyang slit his wrists on his birthday. His mother brought him a cake, knocked on the door for a long time but didn't get an answer, so she opened the door herself and found that Chen Jianyang had cut his wrist. The cake was thrown away casually and Chen Jianyang was rushed to the hospital. He was rescued just in time. Chen Jianyang didn't die. Chen Jianyang's mother said to him in tears, Yuan Yuan certainly doesn't want to see you like this. Please listen to me and stop doing silly things, okay? Chen Jianyang numbly answered her. After that, Chen Jianyang indeed stopped doing silly things. I was relieved. If his mother hadn't come in that day, we would have become swans in the wild. There was no doubt that he loved me. But for the first time, I did not want Chen Jianyang to love me. If he doesn't love me, he can continue to live well. In the second year after I passed away, Chen Jianyang was 22 and he had returned to school. People often say that once we start college, everything becomes more relaxed. I had managed to survive my senior year in high school and was on my way to college when I met my unfortunate demise. Chen Jianyang has many friends. Upon his return, they all greeted him. There was a boy with dyed red hair that seemed familiar. He had been hanging out with Chen Jianyang since high school, called Lin Hong. Every time he saw me, he would smile and say, "Isn't that Chen Jianyang's little sweetheart?" But this time, he didn't even dare to mention my name. Certain wounds hurt even at the slightest touch. Lin Hong and Chen Jianyang became inseparable just like back in high school. It was evident that Chen Jianyang's condition had improved a lot. Later, when Lin Hong got a girlfriend, he didn't attend classes with Chen Jianyang as often. On May 20th, Lin Hong came running over excitedly, his voice full of joy. "Chen Jianyang, I'm going to the amusement park with Du Du. Are you coming?" Du Du was Lin Hong's girlfriend. Chen Jianyang was stumped for a moment, then shook his head, pointing to his unfinished painting. "I'm not going. I haven't finished this yet." Lin Hong rolled his eyes. "Okay, we know you love studying." Chen Jianyang was amused and they bantered back and forth. The sunshine shone on Chen Jianyang, even his hair gleamed. I was stunned for a moment. No wonder he was my chosen boyfriend, handsome indeed. Indeed, if Chen Jianyang weren't good-looking, there wouldn't be so many people who dared to approach him despite his intimidating aura. It was just an ordinary day like this, with an ordinary Chen Jianyang, that something unexpected happened on the night of May 20th. I watched him take his medicines and lay down, so I went to sleep too. Who knew that around 2 in the morning, I saw a humongous figure on the bed in my drowsiness, which scared me. That's right, ghosts can also be scared of other ghosts. On a closer look, I realized it was Chen Jianyang. I floated closer to him, curious about what he was doing. Turned out, he was just sitting there in a daze. I heaved a sigh of relief. Now he couldn't sleep, I wouldn't sleep either. So there I was, just floating around him aimlessly. His tousled hair stood up like a bird's nest. I attempted to touch it, but my hand went right through his head like a scene in an animation. As I moved my hand in and out, it appeared as though a hand was growing out of Chen Jianyang's head. Just as I was having fun, Chen Jianyang suddenly dropped his head, burying it between his knees, faint sobs escaping him. I recoiled my hand, my heart beating along with his sobs, aching. "Chen Jianyang, I won't play with your head anymore, please stop crying." I had no one to comfort him for me. He must have remembered the amusement park. We became a couple there, whispering sweet nothings, promising forever. But everything changed when I was no longer there. On the day of our amusement park date, Chen Jianyang was 19, and it was after his college entrance examinations. He took me to the amusement park that day. I was still in my school uniform, hurriedly following him. After getting off the roller coaster and turning pale, he said, "Fang Yuan Yuan, let's take a picture, you look especially fair now." I rolled my eyes, but he burst into laughter nonetheless. As we stood beneath the roller coaster looking all puzzled and comparing our experiences, Chen Jianyang started to play the fool. "Fang Yuan Yuan, now that I've finished my college entrance exam, do I get a present?" he asked. "What present do you want?" I asked him. He fell silent suddenly. As I turned my head to look at him quizzically, I met his gaze. The amusement park was loud, but he spoke so softly, "Fang Yuan Yuan, let's be together." His voice was so faint, but yet I heard it clearly. I responded, "Okay." Now I regret accepting him so casually. His tears are heart-wrenching. He was as fragile as a delicate piece of china, broken into pieces by a hammer named Fang Yuan Yuan, relentlessly banging, breaking him apart. In the 3rd year after my death, Chen Jianyang, at the age of 23, met a girl. In fact, over these 3 years, he met countless girls, but I only remember this one. She looked so much like me. Just how much did she resemble me? When Chen Jianyang first saw her, he called her Fang Yuan Yuan. I chided him from the side. Look at you, mistaking her for me. Her name was not Feng Yuanyuan, but Lin Yijia. Fate is such a wonderful thing. Once he met her, countless similar encounters followed. Chen Jianiang would always bump into her at various locations throughout the campus. Finally, in the library, Lin Yijia asked Chen Jianiang for his contact. Only then did I realize it was not a coincidence but a deliberate setup. Chen Jianiang remained silent. I saw Lin Yijia's face turn a bit awkward, but she still stubbornly waited for a reply. Unexpectedly, Chen Jianiang turned her down. However, the more rejections she received, the more persistent Lin Yijia became. She somehow obtained Chen Jianiang's contact and kept sending him messages. Chen Jianiang would occasionally respond, but his tone was always a refusal. But in the end, it was not the same. I knew it, Lin Yijia was different. Just based on the similarity of our physical appearances, she was already different. I wished Chen Jianiang could move on from the shadow I cast, yet selfishly hoped he would continue loving only me. Some say that the reason souls do not reincarnate after death is due to attachment. I've been a wisp for 3 years. My attachment, perhaps, is not being able to take care of my parents or accompany Chen Jianiang in life. This place is where my loved ones are. How can I bear to leave? Chen Jianiang did not accept Lin Yijia. One night, Lin Yijia asked him, "Who is that girl in your circle of friends?" Chen Jianiang stared at that photo in his contacts repeatedly, then typed 3 words, "Girlfriend." Yes, his girlfriend who died 3 years ago. I sighed in relief. As for why I was nervous, I attributed it to my selfishness. Chen Jianiang continued to talk to the air. He said, "Feng Yuanyuan, I thought you came back." He said, "Feng Yuanyuan, no one can replace you." He said, "Feng Yuanyuan, I miss you so much." He said, "Feng Yuanyuan, can you hear me? I miss you so much." I can hear you. Chen Jianiang, I can hear everything. In the 4th year after my death, Chen Jianiang was 24 and about to graduate. He has been preparing his graduation project several months ago, but it was never completed. He painted mountains, seas, flowers, and grass. I thought every piece was beautiful, but he was never satisfied with any of them. Perhaps this is the anxiety of an artist. I also had my worries. For some reason, I could only follow Chen Jianiang. I really wanted to see my parents, but Chen Jianiang was considered by my mother as the one who had caused my death, and even the door of the Feng family he could not enter. During these troubling days, Chen Jianiang made a decision to find inspiration elsewhere. He packed up his luggage and went to the frontier. Being young has its perks, ready to set off on a whim. The sound of the train wailing, all the way were vast grasslands. Chen Jianiang carried a heap of painting supplies to the plateau. The high altitude didn't feel great. Chen Jianiang's cheeks were flushed, and he needed an oxygen mask for the journey. Good thing I was a spirit, else I'd be blushing like him. Chen Jianiang ascended the mountain with iron will. At the top, he unloaded a pile of painting supplies. I was admiring those yaks, wondering if they could see me. When I turned around, Chen Jianiang had already finished most of a painting. As the saying goes, sometimes inspiration is like diarrhea, unstoppable no matter what. Not until sunset did Chen Jianiang carefully take the painting down. I don't know much about painting, I just thought it was beautiful. From afar, I saw 2 figures in the painting. "Who's that?" I asked Chen Jianiang, pointing at one of the figures. Chen Jianiang didn't answer. I had forgotten that he couldn't hear me. I carefully made out the figure, guessing one of them might be Chen Jianiang. As I was wondering, I heard Chen Jianiang say, "Feng Yuanyuan, I took you to see the snow mountain." Turns out the other one was me. It was an old wish to see the snow mountain. At that time, Chen Jianiang and I agreed that after starting college we would visit the snow mountain together. Now that I've seen the snow mountain, my regrets felt somewhat lighter. Chen Jianiang remembered every single wish of mine. On the way back, Chen Jianiang received a call. It was his mother. Yuanyuan's parents had a baby girl. "Do you want to come back and see?" she asked. Terrifyingly cold, Chen Jianiang answered, "No." I was ecstatic. Why was Chen Jianiang upset? I couldn't figure it out. I was an only child, and one of my concerns before dying was that there would be no one to look after my parents when they grow old. My parents weren't that old yet. Having another child now was still feasible. It meant they've moved on. They've moved on from the shadows that my death left behind. That should be something to be happy about. But Chen Jianiang wasn't. Back home, he blankly stared at the photo frame on the bedside table. Fang Yuanyuan, your parents are having a second child? I nodded. I know that. Fang Yuanyuan, will they forget you? I was stunned. Throughout all these years of being a wisp, I had indeed never thought about this. I carefully pondered over it and finally gave an answer, no. Chen Jianyang held the photo frame tightly and buried his face into the quilt. Muffled, he said, Fang Yuanyuan, I will never forget you. I gently floated to his side and lied down. It's okay if you forget, I thought. I didn't want to be anyone's shackle. Those conflicted feelings evaporated. Maybe Chen Jianyang should fall in love again. Having company would prevent him from sinking into the sorrow of death. Suddenly, the image of that majestic mountain came to my mind, the mountaintop shrouded in white. The ethereal mist, the freedom of life. Chen Jianyang, like a bird, fly to your mountain. Therefore, forget me, Chen Jianyang. I will forgive you. Truly. In the 5th year after my death, Chen Jianyang was 25, and he stepped through the door of the Fang family home. It was a very ordinary afternoon. Chen Jianyang drove himself to my house. He hadn't visited for so long that I didn't even recognize the road to my home. The door was opened by my father. He was startled when he saw Chen Jianyang, but he still invited him in. I wandered around the house and found that my room was locked. The TV set was replaced with a bigger one. The cactus I raised was still alive, and there were more potted plants on the balcony. My mother was in the bedroom. Next to the big bed was a smaller one, a tiny crib, cradling a new life. A new life that carries all of my parents' hopes and dreams. My mother has figured things out. She doesn't blame Chen Jianyang anymore. Hold her, my mother said. Chen Jianyang did just that. He was clumsy, and I got anxious watching him. Please don't drop my darling little sister. My sister is called Fang Anan, meaning peace and tranquility. It's a much more logical name compared to Fang Yuanyuan. Chen Jianyang held Anan for a while and then put her back in her crib. At the fastest speed I've ever mustered, I floated over, eyeing her curiously. Her face was like a flat pancake. It was just a baby face, yet I could never get enough of it. I greeted her. Hi, I'm Yuanyuan, your big sister. To my surprise, she smiled, as if she could see me. I leaned in closer, trying to get a better look, but then I heard my mother mention my name. Yuanyuan has been gone for many years, she said. Chen Jianyang responded with hum. You are a good boy. It was the aunt who was confused. Chen Jianyang gave another hum. Have you moved on? This sudden question left Chen Jianyang flustered. After a while he smiled, looking towards the crib. I instinctively ducked, but then I realized that he couldn't see me. I heard him say, perhaps. After that day, Chen Jianyang would visit the Fang family whenever he found some free time, just like in the past. But unlike before where he came to see Fang Yuanyuan, now he came to keep my parents and Anan company. The relations between our families returned to how it was before. I knew it. My mom couldn't possibly keep hating Chen Jianyang after being neighbors for over a decade. I let go of a lot of things that year. That year, Chen Jianyang started to work. It was then I realized that the naive young boy from back then was now capable of handling himself in social situations in a suit. Chen Jianyang held his own art exhibition. My little painter has become a great artist. The exhibition housed many paintings about me. A young girl holding a camera asked him, Is the girl in the painting someone very important to you? Chen Jianyang gazed at my image on the painting and whispered, Yes, my love. At 25, Chen Jianyang still retained a place for Fang Yuanyuan in his heart. In the 6th year after my death, Chen Jianyang set up his own studio. Many other artists were hired in the studio. They urged Chen Jianyang to paint a picture together. Chen Jianyang set up his easel, mixed colors, and had just outlined the silhouette of a woman when he suddenly stopped. The students were looking forward in anticipation, asking him what was wrong. I wanted to ask him the same. But suddenly he stood up, inserted his brush into the water bucket, splashing water everywhere. He said, I will not paint this. Although the students were confused, they didn't force him. I could tell something was not right with Chen Jianyang, but I did not know what. If only I could read his mind, then I would know everything. He drove home. In his fairly messy room, he rummaged through boxes, finally pulling out an album. I was very familiar with the cover of the album. It was purchased by Chen Jianyang and me to put our pictures together. I called it the Album of Love. Chen Jianiang turned page after page, as if he could never have enough. I vaguely guessed something. He had forgotten what I looked like. But he remained calm when he was looking at the album. Just when I sighed at Chen Jianiang's maturity, his eyes reddened. He was wiping away his tears with one hand while turning the pages of the album with the other. I got it wrong. Chen Jianiang was still the same Chen Jianiang. He was just wrapped in a layer of steel, but the interior was still glass. He was made of glass which shattered at the slightest memory fade of Feng Yuanyuan. I sighed and gently hugged him, but my hands went right through his body. I held emptiness. An indefinable sense of powerlessness engulfed me. I had brought him happiness and memories, yet I had left him endless longing and pain. Yuanyuan, I've forgotten what you look like, he was muttering to himself. Yuanyuan, don't blame me, I will remember. I won't blame you. Yuanyuan, I should hate you, you left me alone. Hate me, forget me. Yuanyuan, I don't hate you, I love you. Those tears seeping through my palms, leaving behind a burning sensation. I would rather he hated me. Chen Jianiang, forget about me. Regrettably, he couldn't hear. Regrettably, he couldn't hear. In the 7th year after my death, Chen Jianiang was 27 and he went to hiking alone. Hiking is not far away. We went there after my college entrance examination. It could be considered the last moment we shared together before my death. Just like when he went to the snow mountain before, Chen Jianiang packed a small suitcase and set off on a whim. He chose to go in the summer, just like when we went. He went to the old town by himself. There were a lot of stalls selling handicrafts in the old town. I followed him around and around but couldn't find the old man who used to carve wood. Actually, the old man's carvings weren't really exquisite, but they were incredibly ugly. Chen Jianiang wouldn't buy the normally ugly ones, but the very ugly ones. Chen Jianiang would insist on buying one. Back then, he held up the wooden carving he bought, raised it high, and shouted, "This is Feng Yuanyuan." The wooden carving with a nose that wasn't like a nose and eyes that weren't like eyes. Since when did it resemble me? Because of this matter, I was angry and didn't talk to him for a whole morning. He went to the ancient city wall alone. The wall seemed older, but there were still a lot of tourists taking photos there. Chen Jianiang and I have also taken photos there. That day I didn't apply sunscreen, and Chen Jianiang clamored to take photos in the blazing sun all day long, but I disagreed. Carving words on the city wall also made it a tourist attraction. Chen Jianiang wanted to take a photo. I saw a shadow underneath the wall, so I reluctantly agreed. The two of us grinned and took a standard tourist photo, the kind that was both ugly and silly. Chen Jianiang posted it on his Moments, the same picture that Lin Jie asked about. I found it ugly, so I didn't post it. He went to the Flowersea Park alone. There were a lot of flowers in the park, so there were a lot of mosquitoes. I was wearing a skirt and was bitten a few times. Chen Jianiang always had a bottle of mosquito repellent ready, spraying everywhere he went, claiming himself as the protecting Yuanyuan warrior. Indeed, wherever he went, Chen Jianiang was always the standout. In the end, this bottle of mosquito repellent was temporarily confiscated by the park staff, because he sprayed too much of it. He went to the beach of hiking alone. The beach at evening was supposed to be very beautiful, the sea, me with my long skirt and hair. However, because the wind was so strong, my hair was flying all over the place like seaweed. I was so busy trying to fix my hair that I looked like a female ghost. In the midst of my clumsiness, a hand from behind helped me gather all my hair. With my hands and vision free, I was finally able to appreciate the beautiful scenery in front of me. Suddenly, Chen Jianiang tactfully turned me around to face him. The waves were rising and falling, making a rustling noise. It was very quiet around us. Chen Jianiang said, "Feng Yuanyuan, can we kiss?" I looked at his blushing ears, and my heart was almost jumping out of my chest. I said, "Okay." In hiking, Chen Jianiang bought a lot of stuff like wood carvings, seashells, and some local products. In the end, he sent them all to my house. And An had a great time playing with them. My mother didn't ask Chen Jianiang if she had moved on. She just smiled and said, "Little Yang, you've become mature." In the 8th year after my death, Chen Jianiang was 28 and had a big argument with his mother. It happened at their family dinner. A woman about the same age as his mother, leading a child, joked, "Zhao Yang is already so old and still not married." It was this sentence that ignited his mother's discontent. They had an argument when they got home that night. Actually, it wasn't really an argument. It was his mother expressing her anger one-sided. Fang Yuanyuan has been dead for 8 years already. What's the point of you holding on to a dead person for 8 years? All your heart has been taken by her. Have you ever thought about your mother's feelings? You are successful in your career now, and you're not bad looking. Do you really need to do this for a love from a few years ago? Chen Jianiang bowed his head, seemingly lost in thought. In the year I died, my mother scolded Chen Jianiang as a troublemaker. 8 years after my death, his mother scolded me as a troublemaker. But a long time ago, his mother pulled my hand and smiled at me gently. She said to me, Yuanyuan, would you like to be my daughter-in-law? At that time, I blushed and was too shy to respond. But now, she's hysterical and disgusted with me. Sniffling, Chen Jianiang's mother sat on the sofa crying. I wanted to say sorry to her. It was me who held back Chen Jianiang, but she couldn't hear. Chen Jianiang handed her a tissue to wipe her tears. After wiping her tears, she calmed down a bit. I just have one question. Will you get married or not? His silent response, like the last bullet before peace. This war ultimately ended with Chen Jianiang conceding. Yes, in a couple of years. In the 9th year after my death, Chen Jianiang was 29. He started to go on blind dates. His blind dates came and went, and Chen Jianiang could never find a suitable one. Chen Jianiang was too frank. Each time a blind date asked him why he was doing it, almost every time he would say, I just want to start a family. This seemingly unreliable phrase has been the reason for many rejections of Chen Jianiang. How can you start a family without the foundation of love? This has been the most common doubt I've heard. That wasn't till later, when he finally found a compatible person. She was a sweet woman and a primary school teacher. She said, starting a family doesn't necessarily need a love story as a basis. We're not young anymore. Everyone needs a place to dock. Yes, when people are tired, they always need a resting place. Home is the best harbor. Chen Jianiang smiled. I was thrilled for him. Chen Jianiang, who had been wandering for 9 years for Fang Yuanyuan, was finally about to have his own harbor. That year, I celebrated Chen Jianiang's birthday with him. It's been a long time since he celebrated his birthday. Because his birthday is the anniversary of my death. This is a rather unlucky matter. He returned home as usual that day, and suddenly a bunch of his friends rushed out of the house. The leader was Lin Hong, holding a not-too-big cake. That year, Chen Jianiang didn't chase them out like he used to. He took the cake, sat on the sofa, and Lin Hong insisted on putting that childish crown on him. Someone turned off the lights. Only the candle flame was gently flickering. Chen Jianiang didn't make a wish, he just quietly stared. The tiny flickers of light softened his face. I floated to his front, looking at his face, saying, Chen Jianiang, happy 29th birthday. The next moment, Chen Jianiang blew out the candles. The last bit of light was gone. The room was plunged into darkness, and his friends started to sing the birthday song together. I quietly followed them and sang, Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. The melody was melodious and lasted long, followed by friends cheering. Chen Jianiang, happy birthday. Congratulations on leaving the shadow of Fang Yuanyuan at the age of 29. Congratulations on leaving the 19-year-old Fang Yuanyuan's world at the age of 29. Congratulations on starting your own life at the age of 29. In the 10th year after my death, Chen Jianiang turned 30 and got married. The bride was the girl he had once met at a blind date. The wedding wasn't big, but my parents were invited. The banquet hall was bustling with people. Our daughter, Anne, was there too. She was 5 this year, her hair braided, wearing an adorable princess dress. Just like me, she had a big appetite and drank a lot of juice. Before the wedding ceremony began, she went to the bathroom by herself. And Anne, clever as she is, was able to use the restroom herself at the age of 5. I followed Anne to the bathroom. She was running so fast she nearly fell, but a woman steadied her. It was my study partner from high school. Seeing Anne seemed to make her very happy, so she squatted down and helped Anne fix her crooked braid. And Anne was good. She stayed still. After fixing Anne's hair, Anne thanked the lady and ran off. I was about to float away when I heard the lady saying, She looks really like Yuanyuan. Do I resemble me? Recalling Anne's big eyes and round cheeks, I laughed at the thought. It's okay to look like me. Many people say I'm pretty. And Anne will definitely grow up to be beautiful. I hovered back to the banquet hall in my cheerful mood, just as the wedding was about to begin. The bride, dragging a long wedding dress, walked up the red carpet towards Chen Jianyang, who was at the end of the aisle in a suit. The guests burst into applause. In my world, everything was blank except for the figure of Chen Jianyang. He was holding a rose, kneeled on one knee. The MC's voice echoed in my ear, "Mr. Chen Jianyang, are you willing to be with Miss Feng Yuanyuan through an eternity of lifetime until death do us part?" "I do." I reached out to touch the rose, only to suddenly come to a sober realization the voice of the MC and Chen Jianyang was the same. I remembered that it was in a hotel in Hiking. Chen Jianyang recorded his lines on his mobile phone, playing as the MC, and he bought a rose, wanting to simulate our wedding scene with me. In the end, he loudly said, "I do." Time really flies. That was already 10 years ago. I was back in the banquet hall. The applause was still going on. The MC was saying a lot of auspicious words, which were different from what Chen Jianyang recorded, but Chen Jianyang's answer was the same. I heard him say, "I do." And I do too. The guests burst into cheers. Amid the cheering, Chen Jianyang kissed the forehead of the bride. In the hotel in Hiking, Chen Jianyang kissed my lips. A 20-year-old Chen Jianyang and a 19-year-old Feng Yuanyuan conducted a false wedding ceremony. And that was enough for me. In the 11th year after my death, Chen Jianyang was 31 years old and had a child. It was a boy. He gently held the child in the ward, just like when he held an Anne, a bit clumsy. His wife was lying on the bed, smiling tenderly at him. He successfully promoted himself to a diaper dad. He learned to change diapers and make milk powder. I took a secret look at the boy. He was also wrinkled, just like an Anne, looking like a kitten. Lin Hong brought Dudu to congratulate him. Chen Jianyang stood in the hospital corridor, smiling slightly, with the joy of becoming a father for the first time. I suddenly remembered that 11 years ago, in the hospital corridor, Chen Jianyang was crying and panting. It would change. All the pain and scars in front of time will become insignificant. And Anne is 6 years old. Chen Jianyang found his own harbor. It's time for me to go. The soul becomes transparent. Suddenly, I am very panic. I realize that I still have a lot of things to say. For example, I'm actually very sad. I want to live on. I want to hug an Anne. No more, for example. I have not changed. I'm not magnanimous at all. I'm still very selfish. I want to say, I love you, please remember me. I love you all, you must remember me, even if I am gone forever. This is the 12th year since Yuanyuan's death. I am 32 years old. In the morning, I drove to the cemetery. Her parents also stood there with a bunch of flowers. Yuanyuan in the photo has a beautiful smile. Her parents have aged, and so have I, and an Anne has already gone to elementary school. Everyone has changed, but Yuanyuan is still 19, she will always be 19. I put the flowers on the tomb, and I was surprisingly calm inside. At that moment, I thought a lot. When I was 20, I lost her. Chen Jianyang at the age of 20, young and deep, naive, stubborn. So it took me 10 years to make a move and walk towards the marriage hall. My wife is very soft-spoken, very appropriate. She knows about my past, but she doesn't care. As she said, we are mature and in need of a harbor. When I held the baby, the little life was throbbing in my arms. I understood the meaning of a harbor healing the pain. Over time, the pain will become numb. One cannot be trapped in memories for a lifetime. I face the reality. The living must move on. As for Yuanyuan's parents, so am I. That night I had a dream about the beach and hiking. In the distance, there were the 20-year-old me and 19-year-old Feng Yuanyuan. A gust of wind blew over and messed with Feng Yuanyuan's long hair. Chen Jianyang at the age of 20 said something, and then I heard Feng Yuanyuan's voice. She said, "All right." What did she say? I can't remember.